even close. Because in this picture, it's two South Africans, one of which is a descendant of, we won't go there, and two Mexicans, and there was a fifth suspect that recently came out. There is not a Nigerian in sight. We have just played Spot the Nigerian. Do you see a Nigerian in this? No. Unspeakable. The hate for the descendants of our liberators. But y'all are comfortable with the descendants of colonizers, which we should be, right? We've gotten to a place where it's like, okay, this is the reality. We're going to make it work now. Because we as people of color are the bigger person and we will choose peace. Or at least I was under that impression in the beginning.
South Africa is called a rainbow nation for a reason, because it's a mixture of people. We have white South Africans, we have black South Africans, we have Indians in South Africa, we have Somalis in South Africa, Nigerians in South Africa, Zimbabweans in South Africa, we have immigrants in South Africa. Because South Africa is a country with good economy, at least good economy in Africa, and it's a country where there's a lot of gold mining and everything going on in South Africa. It's just a good country, so that a lot of people from other countries are visiting and living in South Africa. There is this lady who has called out the countrymen of South Africa. He has angrily called out his people of South Africa to be xenophobic against Nigeria, to drag Nigerians. She has said that Nigeria sometimes back helped South Africa during the apartheid. I know the history. If you don't know the history, you can go back to the history and see how Nigeria helped South Africa at large. Now, she's calling out the people of South Africa for hating Nigeria, and yet they don't know the history that is between Nigeria and South Africa. Let's watch this video from this lady. She's a South African lady, and then we go react about it, as we do always.
It was point blank Afrophobia, and you know what is the most disgusting about it all? Go and look at the video where this comment is coming from. Go and educate yourselves and find out what Nigeria has done for our country. Go and read up on the history. Nigeria spent $61 billion, billion with a B, to help liberate our people from 1960 to 1995. In those 35 years, Nigeria spent $61 billion, people. Dollars. We're not talking rands here. We're talking dollars. They also issued us passports when we needed it. You know what? I will just show you. You can go to the archives yourselves. You can do the history yourselves. From 1960 to 1995, Nigeria spent over $61 billion to support the end of apartheid. And this is according to the South African Institute of International Affairs. This is coming from our archives. This is the same Nigeria that set up the Southern Africa Relief Fund. The same Nigeria whose civil servants and public officers made a 2% donation from their monthly salary. And the same Nigerian students that skipped their lunch to make donations. And by June of 1977, in just 6 months, look at that, they were able to contribute $10.5 million. They called it the Mandela tax. And you want to know something? If you read the history, they were so proud to be contributing towards it. That's why kids in schools were skipping their lunch to be able to contribute to this fund. This is the same Nigeria that allowed our South African students, our South African people, to come over and study for free. For free. They welcomed our exiles as well. Thabo Mbeki was able to benefit from Nigeria. This is the same Nigeria that issued their governments for our South African citizens. The same Nigeria that lobbied for the creation of the United Nations Special Committee Against Apartheid. If you don't believe me, go through the archives. Go and do your fact check. Because the history is there, the research is there, it's even coming from our own people. It's all there. I stitched this in my last video. Oh, and this thing of Nigerians are bringing in the drugs to our country, please show me. We recently had a massive drug bust, a 2 billion rand drug bust. And show me the Nigerian. Let's play Spot the Nigerian. Please show me where there is a Nigerian in sight. Because y'all are very quick to talk about how, oh, they're bringing in the drugs to a country. Where? Because this thing of drug smuggling, this thing of child trafficking, it is not something specific to Nigerians. Not even close. Because in this picture, it's 2 South Africans, one of which is a descendant of, we won't go there, and 2 Mexicans, and there was a 5th suspect that recently came out. There is not a Nigerian in sight. We have just played Spot the Nigerian. Do you see a Nigerian in this? No. Unspeakable. The hate for the descendants of our liberators. But y'all are comfortable with the descendants of colonizers. Which we should be, right? We've gotten to a place where it's like, okay, this is the reality. We're going to make it work now. Because we as people of color are the bigger person and we will choose peace. Or at least I was under that impression in the beginning. But then I've also come to realize that no, it actually had nothing to do with that. It had to do with force. This is what the government chose for us, and therefore we will follow through. And maybe that's what is necessary. Because some of y'all can't think for yourselves. You just need to be led by a shepherd, or led because you are sheep in your hatred. You have gone and destroyed this woman's life and her family, and you are so happy. You have gone and destroyed this woman's life and her family, and you are so happy about it. You are so proud of yourselves for it, and it shows. Y'all are disgusting. You know what? You are so welcome to cancel me over this. I don't want to be followed by sheep, by cancel culturalists, whatever the fuck you want to call yourselves. Please cancel me. Go for it. I don't give a fuck. And I've just highlighted how a Nigerian government issued passports to our people. Chidima's mother didn't have to go to these lengths if she was just issued a passport and assisted. Because clearly she needed assistance if she had left her country. Personally, the way this feels for me, Nigeria should come and claim their $61 billion back. You ungrateful South Africans, let Nigeria come, take their $61 billion back and go build their country so that their people don't feel they need to leave. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go and build up their economy with the money they sent us.
Welcome back. I can feel her pain. It's so sad how some people or some South African don't know the history between the 2 countries, because we are living in recent days and we only see like the people of Nigeria has come to our country to take over. They have come to our country to take over our jobs. They have come to our country to do this and this. But according to this lady, she's saying that Nigeria or Nigerians were the best people to South Africa. So let me tell you a short story what happened between South Africa and Nigeria so that I don't leave you behind. In 1970s, 1980s, when South Africa was going in an apartheid period and the country was worse, Nigeria was so vocal to help South Africa to come over the issue of apartheid. Economically, they were helping them. Even at some point, Nigeria cut off put sanctions on South Africa. They cut off the exportation of oil to South Africa so that South Africa can go down economically, so that to help the South Africans people. Okay? South Africa or Nigeria was so vocal to condemn the apartheid. Nigeria helped South Africa use billions of dollars of money to help South Africa in 1970s, 1980s. The people of nowadays, most of them, they don't know this history. They don't know what happened that time. But I don't want to support one party or to not support another party. First of all, this lady, she is very right. she's right on what she has said because she's South African and she knows well. She has gone back to the history and she has taught South Africans the history between South Africa and Nigeria. Just the one thing I want to react on this video, I just want to say I've been calling for the unity and peace among African countries. And this is the way and this is the time to stand among each other, to stand for each other. Nigeria to support South Africa and South African to support Nigeria. Zimbabwe to love South Africa, South African to love Zimbabwe. Let us not be divided by politics stance. Let us not be divided by gangs. You know, maybe most South African love Nigerians. But there's some groups, hate groups that are in between that they don't show that love. Okay? We have to know our history between the countries so that we don't upset our ancestors. You know, we don't upset our ancestors on what we do right now. If Nigeria stood with South Africa the time South Africa needed help, now it is time for South Africa to stand with Nigeria. Give them jobs. Give the people jobs of Nigeria. I know Nigeria is a country that is economically not so good. That's why they are running to South Africa to do business there, to do what they do in South Africa. And yes, I support the fact that the people of South Africa need to be given the jobs first. If they are looking for people to work, you know, the qualification you will need as a country, you need first to employ the people of the country first so that you can fill the gaps with other people from other countries. So I support that. But two, I don't support the fact that South Africans are very angry and bitter at Nigerians. I don't support the fact that South Africans are so bitter to Zimbabweans. So it's a matter of win-win from both. When these people come in our country, they build business here, they do business here, our country will grow economically. And our country will be a country of diversity where a lot of people are inside, you know? A lot of people from other countries, they come in our country and they live in peace. So I don't want to talk more to spoil the mood of this video. This lady has said a lot, has said more. What I just want to say is that African countries, we need to unite. I know it's hard for us to do that right now in this generation, but our next generation, our children's and grandchildren's doesn't need to go through this enmity between us, between, you know, one country and the other country. As I always say, the borders were written by pen. Does not mean much to us. All these differences we see between ourselves were placed there by the white supremacy, by the colonizers. So when we hate each other, that's what they wanted. They don't want us to unite. They don't want Nigerians and South Africa to speak one language. They don't want Ghana and Nigeria to unite and be one thing. Because once South Africa and Nigeria unite, they will be so strong. They will be so strong. If Nigeria and South Africa have good diplomacy relationship, they will be so strong. And that's what the supremacy, the white supremacy, don't want that to happen. That's why we see differences each corner. Every corner we see differences, you know. But I love the fact that this South African lady has seen it and has spoke and has let it out so that others can learn. We don't need to fight. We don't need to hate each other. I know there is issues between these countries. Maybe Nigerians are here in my country, they living large, and you are the person of the country, you don't live that large, so you feel like they are being favored, something like that. But Nigerians are not our enemies as South Africans. South Africans are not our enemy as Nigerians. We know the enemy. The enemy is between us. The enemy is making us fight. The enemy is happy when a South Africa is dragging Nigerian. The enemy is just here watching. We all know the enemy in this game. So we don't have to drag ourselves. We don't have to hate each other as the people of Africa. Africa must unite and Africa must stand for each other. We must help each other. We must walk freely anywhere we want to walk in this continent of Africa. Tell me what you think on the comment section about this lady's concern on this issue. And tell me where I've gone wrong, Tell me in the comment section. You can find me at kenyanbeast1@gmail.com. That's my email, and my number is on the description. We can talk more on this. Until next episode, peace be with you.